guys, I'm Jess and welcome back to Magical Mischief. Today we have got an amazing new feature coming to the channel, a new series which is called Magical Discussions. This is where we are going to talk all things Disney parks, Disney movies, Universal, and I wanted to start by giving my opinions, discussing and talking about the new Villains Land that is coming to Magic Kingdom. Now this is something that was announced this year at D23 and has been something that fans have wanted for a while. It is something I think that is very much needed, and lots of people on a Universal Parks group that I am a part of were making comments saying this is Disney's response to Universal's Dark Universe. I believe it's called Dark Universe, where Universal will have representation of rides of different monsters and sort of Halloween-esque and scary creature things that appear in certain movies that they, as Universal, have a connection to and obviously copyright on and things. Now I am very, very excited about Villains Land. I'm not going to lie. It is something that I was very excited to hear about, and I do have some information on it from the D23 website that we will talk about in a bit more detail in a second. Now I will in just a second be posting the concept art, the picture, the official picture, just so you can have a look at it. It will pop up briefly. If you want to look at it in more detail, do pause, and that will happen now. So guys, that picture that I just showed you looks absolutely stunning. I love the darkness of the colours, and I love sort of the theming that they are going for. Now, they have said that this land will contain 2 attractions, dining and shopping and more. Now, there are a variety, I would say, of Disney villains that this land could base attractions on and different movies. We all know Disney have loads and loads of amazing villains. Now, one attraction that I think is an absolute must for Villains Land, and if you agree with me or disagree, please put your thoughts in the comments. But I have been after an Emperor's New Groove ride for so long. There is a point in the movie, if you have seen the movie, where Kronk and Yzma go on what is effectively a roller coaster to get down to Yzma's lab. And every time I see that in the movie, all I could think is that needs to be a ride. And that ride, I think, is perfect for Villains Land. Now, I was chatting to my boyfriend about this earlier today, actually, and I was telling him that I think the Emperor's New Groove villains-inspired little roller coaster should have, obviously, different storyline completely altogether, but similar ideas to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, in the sense that if you have been on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you will know, sorry for spoilers if you haven't, but you go on the ride thinking you're going on a nice little train ride, train tour with Goofy, and the train derails and basically takes you to loads of different places and you can explore loads of different things. before actually being able to get back on the train track and get safely back. And I was saying to my boyfriend, it would be really, really cool to take that concept for the ride and inspire it around Kronk and Yzma, and having the start of the ride, you being in the little vehicle that you see in the movie, and you hear Kronk saying hi, welcome, however like Kronk speaks, and saying, I'm going to take you on the tour of a lab so you can come and see what happens in our lab and all the things that we do in the lab, essentially. And he wants to take you down and show off his spinach puffs and show the lab and basically show you maybe how they're going to probably turn Cusco into a llama, possibly. And essentially you could go on this ride, and because it's Kronk, something could then go wrong, causing Yzma to appear, get cross, and you end up essentially derailing and having something happen that causes you to derail, disrupt your lab tour essentially, and it causing huge problems. That is a rough concept, but even just having an Emperor's New Groove simple roller coaster where you have the carts from the movie and you're travelling on a roller coaster is just enough. An Emperor's New Groove attraction, a Kronk and Yzma thing is definitely needed for that land. It is in the movie. Disney, come on, you just need to do it. Now, for a second attraction, because they have spoken that there will be 2. Now, these have not been specified as to what they could be, and according to the D23 website, it just says 2 attractions. Now, I feel like for the second attraction, they should probably go for one of the villains I think that is most popular, because it will be let's face it, a really big money maker for them. Now, one of the popular villains is Maleficent, but I do not think it should be her, and I will explain why in a second when we come to sort of dining and like aesthetic. But I don't think will do Ursula, let's be honest, because they already have a Little Mermaid attraction and a ride where she is featured. I think it would possibly be very cool to do a ride maybe themed around Hades. Hades is a quite popular villain. I do know that maybe doing Hades and going into the underworld could possibly be very scary for young children. I do get that, and I do understand that, which is why they may not go down that route. But I think that would be really cool. It would also, I think, tie in them really nicely with the Percy Jackson series that they have done as well, which would be really cool. Obviously, another really popular villain is, I believe, and used a lot on villains merchandise, is the Evil Queen. But I personally don't think doing something based on the Evil Queen would be as popular. And in a couple of parks, they do have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, like attractions and rides that she is connected to. And I really think that they need to do villains attractions that are either based on characters of movies that haven't been represented in rides before, or have a ride and attraction that it is solely just the villains and represent, each individual villain in a section of the ride. It might be quite cool, and this is my a bit of love of Disney history and nerdiness. It might be quite cool to have one of the rides maybe a little bit like, say, a boat ride or a may slower ride, where they take you through the history of Disney villains and maybe have somewhere that talks, even if it's just a bit like the Hall of Presidents maybe, where you have animatronics of different Disney villains and you learn maybe about what inspired them, and just giving you a bit more information and including all the villains. I know for some people an attraction like that can be very, very boring because it can represent a museum kind of style, but I do think that would be quite cool. Please let me know in the comments down below what villains you would love to see represented in an attraction. Now, in terms of Disney dining, I think they have the perfect opportunity here to do another character dining experience. You would be able to have a dining experience with lots of different villains, and you could have specialised villains present just for that dining experience. Maybe certain villains, if you see anything flying around that's just a fly, it's been in the house all day and it's been really bothering me, you could have specialised villains in that dining experience, maybe that you only see either at Oogie Boogie Bash in, say, Disneyland, California, or at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So those often include villains, I think, like Lotso, Dr. Facilier, Sid, from Toy Story 2, Toy Story, not Toy Story 2. Stinker Pete from Toy Story 2 would be another one, but I think they would probably stick strictly, and should, in the Villains Land, stick strictly to Disney and original Disney. So things like Dr. Facilier, as I mentioned, having Hades in this character dining experience, Evil Queen, Maleficent, Lady Tremaine, Mother Gothel would be quite cool to have a representation. I'm trying to think who else, Captain Hook, Jafar. I'm trying to think of some other really cool. I would love, absolutely love to have in this character dining or in Villains Land some unique character meet and greets, if that's possible. I'd love to have Yzma, and I would love to have Madame Mim. I also think it'd be quite cool if they did character dining, instead of having Disney villains just in general for the character dining, make it a really fun experience and just have Disney villain sidekicks. Now, I say this because it will give a fun, unique experience, and it will show, to be fair, that a lot of Disney villains and villains in general in movies are often very lazy and get other people like sidekicks to do their bidding. Let's be real and honest about this. And I just think it would be really, really fun to maybe have just the sidekicks who come, the villain sidekicks, and do character meet and greets. And it can be a character dining experience that is a contrast to what you would usually see, because you can have characters who are moody, who are grumpy, who are a bit like, ugh, you've come to see me, why? Sort of experience. Now, I think if they have character dining or any form of dining, they should have it in a Maleficent themed castle. And I feel like that should be a centerpiece for the land. It will go it will be a contrast, I should say, to the Cinderella castle. I think it will be super eye-catching, and it will be a very unique and sort of like spooky place, I guess, to have your dining experience. It would be quite cool also in terms of dining to maybe have a little quick service area as well that is maybe themed after Kronk, because we know Kronk cooks, and they could have spinach puffs on the menu, and they could do a drink which is like a llama potion, because of course anything Emperor's New Groove I can get in Villains Land, I will take it. I'm so excited. Now, they do talk about on the D23 website that there will be shopping as well, which is really, really cool. Now, this should mean that there will be a lot more Disney Villains merchandise rolling out regularly every year, which people are going to love. I'd love that in that merchandise that we get representation for some underrated villains, and villains like Madam Mim, Yzma, Mother Gothel, and Lady Tremaine, to be fair, that don't get represented as much. It would be quite cool to see some like Vanessa stuff as well. That's who Ursula transforms into in Little Mermaid. That would be quite cool. And I would love, obviously, that merchandise. Most likely will probably be Spirit Jersey, ears, an exclusive lounge fly for that area would be really, really nice. And hopefully a Villains Land mystery pin set would be quite cool, because they have just released, if you didn't know, an Adventureland mystery pin set which looks really, really nice. It's on Shop Disney UK for all my UK followers who want to get hold of it. Well, it is at the time of filming this. I apologise if they have vanished by now, but it'd be really cool to get some exclusive mystery pins, which would be really nice, and even just some open edition and limited edition exclusive pins in general would be really, really nice. And making sure that those pins include villain sidekicks as well as just villains, because the villain sidekicks don't always get as much representation as the villains do, which would be really, really nice. It says on the D23 website, one of the quotes that they have quoted on there, it says, "Since the beginning, our Disney villains have given us endless possibilities to tell new stories. In this new land, you'll see storytelling on a grand scale that only Disney can deliver." So that indicates to you that this is going to be absolutely amazing. Well, I hope it is amazing. And looking at that concept art, it looks dark and spooky and stunning. It is a place that I'm really excited to go to, and hopefully that will be a place that is absolutely buzzing when Halloween hits. I am just so excited to see that. Please let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this style of video, please let me know, because I'm planning to make it into a series, not just talking about what's coming to the Disney parks, but also anything I wish they did in the Disney parks. Because there is one thing that I have wanted them to do for so long, and I really hope that it does come into fruition in years to come. That will be probably its own video, because I could just talk about that for hours. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe down below and turn on that notification bell so you're notified when more magical mischief is coming your way. I really hope you have enjoyed this first ever magical discussion, and I'll see you very soon, guys. Bye!